11. That's a challenge in our area, and not just for Upper Dublin, but for a lot of communities to get 11 strong firefighters there. Because, as you know, sometimes the volunteer service, you got people at different skill levels. You know, they get on a truck, but they may not be the exact right person for that particular challenge. And one of the things that I would like to see change in the volunteer service is a little less of the parochial or tribalism, and take advantage of some of the technology. You know, if a 25-year-old or a 60-year-old guy has the right skill sets and certifications and is healthy, and the smartphone trips off, and he's willing to operate with the same type of supervision, common language, same basic skills and priorities, understanding when to ventilate, how to handle a hose line. I'd like to see a situation where he had to be in his home district on his home truck, but that he might be able to assist. Be careful here. I'm not suggesting that people squirrel calls and run around with the county. I'm not suggesting that. But I'm suggesting that we have not adapted technology. You know, we're still blowing a whistle, and if you hear it, and I'm being a little bit facetious here, and you're in range, you can go to your firehouse and get the equipment and go. What I'm suggesting is that with the proper training and supervision and common understanding of the goals and safety procedures, there might be a way to draw upon people that are nearby and, have them team up with people right away to get to that 11.
We've had a discussion in search and rescue because our people are so scattered around, and I think what stops it in search and rescue is ego and politics, which it stops progress in all areas, but the event should dictate the staffing.
Yeah. Now, I'm not suggesting the volunteers don't adapt new technology. A lot of our officers and a lot of the young firefighters they're all over, listening to somebody else's call, staying on top of it, using Active 911 or, a number of software applications. And they certainly gained experience and knowledge from each other. When I look at my career in the volunteer fire service, I think one of the most dramatic game changers has been YouTube. You make a serious mistake in fighting a fire now, there's going to be somebody, whether it's a firefighter, usually it's a civilian, filming that and videotaping that, and your mistake and your lack of skills or whatever are going to be up on the internet within a matter of minutes.
Yeah, as much as I ride younger generation, I also thank the powers that be that they didn't have the ability to record things when I was growing up, because that would be really embarrassing.
Well, one of the things I tell the kids that I'm working with a little bit just as a volunteer, and I'm just a firefighter, nothing more, at least have a tool in your hand. Don't be the guy standing there doing nothing.
Right.
There was a fire, and I'm not going to name the company that was involved, but they had to take out a door on a small auto body shop, wooden door, kind of back in an alley. And there's YouTube video of a firefighter who regretfully was pretty out of shape, tapping on a door with a pickhead axe, almost like it was a little putt-putt golf thing. And then he set it down and walked away. And with YouTube at the time, everybody in America goes, who was this guy and what was that about? I'm not saying you have to be Joe Macho on it, but know what you're doing, and because you're going to be held accountable for it by the videotape. And conversely, you can also see when people do their job right, and they do have their game together, and they can. I mean, I see video after video, Mark, where career fires included are taking 2, 3, 4 minutes to get packed up properly. And even then, their belts are hanging off and everything's not loose and their helmet's on the side of their head to do an entry for a firefight. That should not be the case.
That's one of my fears with technology and all of emergency services, that while you're trained to be safer and things are safer in many ways, that I think that the advancement in technology can breed a casualness and a false impression of safety, because we're able to go in, you don't have because the Nomex is better, you can go in further. But before, you would feel the heat and you would know not to go in but so far. And you see that translate into civilians stuff, we find people deceased who go out and overextend themselves, and they're wearing the finest gear, and they weren't cold, but they walked too far. And I say to people all the time, how far can you walk? And they go 5 miles. And I say, no, you can walk 2.5 miles.
I'm 61 years old, and I'm in okay shape. Certainly not great shape, but one of the things I'm realizing in my career, you have to work within your limitations. I was working with 2 or 3 firefighters about 3 weeks ago, and they had, I think they were 8-pound sledgehammers, and we had an acquired structure, and you had to go through a block wall. And again, this goes to the eclectic natures. One of the officers there is a tire guy. He works for and manages a tire shop. And we're banging through the wall, breached the wall just the way you should, got through a big enough hole that you could get in there, fight a fire, maybe get somebody out. And what he explained to me, and we did it almost naturally on that job, is you bang on a wall until you miss or you slip or whatever, and then the other guy steps up and he starts. You get a little bit of break, that teamwork. And I think that's kind of a metaphor for how the volunteer fire service can still take advantage of people that have limitations. There's plenty of different jobs on a fire ground or a rescue scene. And if people are encouraged and not embarrassed or to work within their limitations, that 16-year-old kid can help you roll hose, when it's icy. The 70-year-old guy, and we have a couple right now, a 71-year-old guy, they're just excellent at mentoring, at forcible entry. Is he going to do 2-3 bottles tonight? Probably not. That's more than he should do. You don't want him to go too far. And the volunteer fire service lets people do that. And I think it's a challenge to manage, but it's also very rewarding for the people as well as optimum service for the community in some ways.
There's unlimited potential when you know that everybody around you has your back. And that's what makes the volunteer fire service and volunteer services in general. That's a little bit of an advantage I think they have over the career services, because when you're volunteering, you've made a choice to be there, and nobody can take your paycheck away. You've made a choice, and there's some strength in that I think drives people and drives their character to want to participate. And most of the volunteers live in their community, which is an additional drive.
Point well taken. Thank you.
You can't quantify it, but thank you very much, and thank you for all the work over the years.
Thank you.
Okay, you're done, Russell.